Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Great.
All right. My name is Jim Volz. I'm the chair of the Plainfield Select Board. I want to call our meeting to order. It's a meeting about the budget. And so I guess I'll turn it over to Bram.
Okay, so I've been working a lot with the notes that were left and with Linda Wells to put something together. Basically, there were a number of sort of areas that weren't covered in the preliminary notes that were prepared before me. So Linda and I worked together to, put the numbers in. The first thing, I mean, I don't know that we need to go line by line, but the first thing to note is that we have fully funded the assistant position in the Kristen's position. And we also have funding for Linda Wells' position, and figure she can probably we'll need her probably for another month or so to just even after the budget stuff will be done. Linda is invaluable in terms of showing me the ropes, and Carol is too busy sort of holding up the ship to be able to do the kind of careful training. So that's what those two items are for. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I guess we can go page by page. I'm just looking for other things. I guess the other thing that I don't know where the select board is. There's the constable position was budgeted for 4,000. I know that there was some talk about maybe changing the position or something. If you want to sort of consider all the other stuff and then go back to that, that might be appropriate. I don't know.
Okay. I had a question about the kind of the bottom line, which on the last page, you have 2% increases. What's the difference?
Right. So one is a percentage increase. Let me explain. So one is, and with my revised figures, we forgot to put in some maintenance on the trucks. Linda pointed that out to me, and unfortunately, we had a power failure at the town office. So I'll send you the revised figures. But one is basically how much it's increased versus what was proposed last year. And right now, with the added figures, it's about a 6.8% increase. That's from what was actually spent versus what was proposed was it's basically a 7.43 increase. And sorry, this is not for the current year. This is for the year before. So in other words, if you took the 22, 23 numbers and compared it to what we're proposing for this year, it's about a 6.8% increase. And okay. let me say that that's significant, but I think given the the situation that we're in terms of having to spend to sort of right the ship, so to speak, I don't think it's too onerous.
Okay, well, the two numbers at the end of what you sent earlier were 5.8 and 5 point something else.
Right,
okay,
right.
So
now,
those aren't added.
Those aren't. I'll send you the revised. As I said, I was going to try to send the revised thing before the meeting, but we had the power failure. And if you access the Google Doc that I sent, I'll send it out after the meeting to give you. So because I had to add some things that were left out at the last minute, and it was mostly truck maintenance.
So will we have to have another meeting then to approve that? We might.
Well, I mean, I think that I think that you should feel comfortable unless there's something that dramatically jumps out at you. I would think that we'd be able to preliminarily feel comfortable with these numbers, maybe not give it the official sign off, but what I'm really concerned about is making sure everybody's comfortable and on the same page so that we can set that meeting date.
Sure. No, I mean, I think that, wait, I think I think we should go through the budget tonight, this evening, for answer any questions. But
Right.
then if when you get your final one, your very, very final one done, I
Yeah.
think we'll have to have a quick meeting to approve that. I would
Yeah,
think.
and that's fine. But the thing is that if it's possible to speed the plow on approving a date, that would be helpful
Well, we
because
can talk about that too, sure.
yeah,
Tonight, you mean,
because
figure that
I
out
think that,
tonight?
well, I mean, I prefer it. So right now, just so everybody understands, we're required to publicly post the annual meeting 40 days prior to the meeting. So if you take 40 days from today, that's May 14th.
Okay,
So it would be good, I think, to if everybody is feeling pretty comfortable on the budget in terms of I mean, obviously there might be some tweaks here and there, but everybody's feeling pretty comfortable, then I think we could move forward with the date and get that resolved,
but it's 40 days from when you actually give the notice, right? And send the bulletin around, send
So
the
yes.
annual report around?
So it's a minimum of 40 days prior to the actual meeting that you have to announce. So in other words, if we were to decide to have a meeting today, it would, be, what is it, May 14th or 15th or something. But if the longer we go, the more that stretches out. And it would be nice to have the meeting mid-May rather than June.
Except I think doesn't the 40-day notice start? Doesn't the 40 days start from the date that you actually issue the notice? In other words, the printed bulletin, the printed annual report?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know that the actual it has to be, yes. I mean, a warning has to be posted 40 days prior. So I guess
Right.
that would mean yes.
A warning with the items that we're supposed to be talking about at the meeting, which if it includes the budget means we have to have the budget nailed down.
Well, I don't know the minutia as well, and perhaps somebody else does, but my understanding was there's a timeline in terms of sending out the town report, which
Right.
has all the information. That's not 40 days. That's I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay. So
I'll
maybe
double-
maybe
I'll
Linda
double
Wells.
check, but I don't know. Linda, do you know the specifics on this?
I think it's 2 weeks for the town report.
Yeah,
I
so,
believe.
but in
I'd
other
have to
words,
look it up. I mean,
what
I don't want to, I'd have to look it up.
what Jim is wondering is, do we have to actually have a completely finalized secure budget 40 days prior? I mean, I thought it was just literally posting the meetings at a certain spot and this and that.
Yeah, you have to post them at three places. I think you probably have to put the town hall,
right.
the office.
But when the question that Jim had was, do we have to have the budget secured completely for that notice?
I would say yes.
Yeah, in other words,
I don't think you can. Yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead. It's fine. If you're doing the town report, I think then you just have to keep, moving forward. I mean, you can't. I think you need to do it. I'd have to look it up in the statute.
Right.
But if you're going to do it when you send the town report,
no, I
mean, I would think.
So in order, I completely understand. In order to send the town report, we have to actually have the budget all signed off. That I understand. What I was
right.
not 100% sure about was and we would send that out 2 weeks prior to the meeting. I completely get all that. What I was wondering was, do we have to have, in other words, we're going to go over the numbers tonight. Do we have to absolutely have a complete sign off on the budget tonight, or can we wait a couple of days before we name?
Well, if you give the changes and they approve the changes, I see no reason why you'd have to meet again. You just fill in those changes.
Right. Okay.
I don't think you need to have another meeting to approve it. I think if the select board goes through and agrees to everything that's on here, including any changes you want to make, then I think that's sufficient.
Okay. Does that answer you, Jim, or?
Yeah, I think, I mean, if we do that, yeah, but you said there were some other things you wanted to send us that we hadn't seen yet. So I think that's.
Well,
Oh.
what it is that what Linda pointed out, there were a couple of items in terms of truck maintenance that were added. Not I think if you totaled them all up, it's probably $7,000-8,000 or something. I'll send everybody the sheet with those final numbers in them. I don't know that it substantively changes the entire budget.
Well, I just want to mention, you think you're going to need that much money in those for any kind of, for the trucks, you think? You think you're going to need?
Well, I called Michael, and I went through each truck in terms of what he wanted to put in.
Okay.
So, and I have those numbers, and
right.
I was taking his word on what he wanted on it.
Yeah, because I know there's some older ones, and so you'd probably have to add a little extra to those. But the newer ones, I would think, would be, a little bit less. Would be less. I'm just thinking
they
out
are.
loud again.
They are. I
But-
mean, I can. Let's see.
Okay, so if I could just come in here for a second, I just want to note that Tim Davis has joined us. And I think what you have to publish 40 days ahead of time is the actual articles that we're going to be voting on. And the articles contain numbers. They contain the total budget amount. And so I think, I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what has to actually be published. Not the whole annual report itself, but maybe not the whole annual report itself, but at least the articles that we're going to be voting on. And, last year or 2 years ago, we had 11 articles, I think it was. And they were, very close to the front of the bulletin of the annual report that we issued. I'm looking at the one from the 2025 annual report from 2022, the 225th annual report from 2022. So in order to issue the articles, we have to agree on the total number for the budget, because that's one of the articles that are voted on, I think.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Well, we can go over, the numbers, and I'd be happy to share the ones that aren't in your, in the one that you have.
So, but I'm wondering, Linda, do you agree with what I just said?
Yeah, I think it is. Yes, I think it's right. But it seems to me, if you just had a few changes you want to do tonight, you could do it tonight, and they could approve it. So I think that's the best way to do it, rather than having to come back again later.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what you should do. And if
So-
you know the numbers, they can just put them in. They can talk about it and put them in tonight.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
So
Okay.
in other words, Bram, the numbers that you said you didn't circulate in the budget you sent us, but you wanted to add, if you know what they are now, you can tell us about them tonight.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fine. Why don't I do that? That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry, Tim, I just wanted to start from the top on the budget. I was just pointing out that the major changes just on the page one would be the administrative assistant position is now fully funded, and that's I believe we have 29,000 on that. It's actually a little more, but we can split some of the cost with the listers and the DRB can eat a little bit of that. And also Linda's joining for a couple of months, and I think she can probably stay on for another month. And we budgeted that at a 14,000. It'll probably come in lower. The select board and assistant town clerk and town clerk salaries are the same. The Linda worked very hard getting all the payroll numbers right. There's a new tax starting in July, not a huge one. It's a child, I don't know what it's called, child, I think it's for paying for something to do with children. It's a payroll tax, and it on everybody's salary, it probably comes to, 1,760. There's no choice on that. The other things that I'm just looking on the first page, nothing jumps out. Just that line item, Freightliner, that is the fire truck, correct, Linda? That's what the Freightliner is?
Yes.
Right, so
Yes,
that's
it
the
is.
fire truck on that. So that'll be renamed because it's a little confusing when you see Freightliner. What's that about? So is there anything else on the first page that people have questions about? I brought up we have the constable. I think that was, yeah, there's 4,000 for the constable. I know that you guys were in discussion about that, but I just want to point that out. If something wants to change down the line, maybe that's something you'd want to consider. Something like, for example, I know that Alice Merrill has been talking a lot about rebudgeting line painting in the village, which I think is about $4,200. If you want to take it from the constable thing for that, I don't know. I mean, it's your choice. It's just something that that I just wanted to point out. Did anybody have other questions about like the first page, anything jump out at anybody?
We can change what we use that constable money for after the fact. Is that what you're?
Well, no,
just trying to say?
not after the fact. I was saying, Tim, what I was saying is like, it might be, as there is some question about, whether we're getting bang for the buck out of that account, perhaps we could take, 3,000 from that account and then put 1,000 toward paying somebody to, chase the Parker people away during the winter, which is one of the main jobs of the constable or something.
Yeah. I'm totally actually on board with that. I'm just wondering, do we have to make that decision right now tonight?
Well, we might have to make the decision tonight. I think it would be prudent to make it sooner rather than later. But why don't there are probably other areas that you will want to weigh in on and sort of weigh the cost on. So we can just put a placeholder on that for now.
Sure.
And then just like go to two. Now, is there anything else that anybody saw on the first page that want to discuss? I don't know if there's anything. That's my dog in the background, so sorry about that.
No, that's right.
I noticed there was an error. Okay, one thing. For some reason, and I think this was an error, Linda, I noticed under dam fees, I think that should have been on the first page, dam fees. On your copy, it might say 14,000. I think it's supposed to say $200.
No,
That's what it
I
said.
have one that says 200.
That's what I have, 200.
Okay. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, I had an error there, I think, for mine. So so that's something. Do you want to go on to the second page?
Sure.
Okay. On the second page, let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything. Just trying to think if there's anything I wanted to point out.
Well, what about legal fees? They
Oh, right,
were
okay.
2,000.
R-
They
r-
were
let-
2,000, now you've got 6,000.
6,000. Okay, no. That was that was an important one. You can put it, so traditionally it's been at the 2,000 mark, and it was
Right.
raised. It was raised. I put in 6, which I should have talked to you about, and I'm sorry, this and that. Um, what I was thinking of is there is potential, legal stuff coming up vis-a-vis the situation on Bean Road, the situation on Brook Road.
Right.
And that's what that was my thinking on that. So Tim, I don't know if you're aware of, there's this ongoing problem on Bean Road where we've had a very difficult, it's a very long, difficult situation to
Yeah, I do recall that, and I do agree we should budget maybe a little extra legal
I
fees
think
for that.
it's really prudent to just once again, you don't have to spend it all, but I thought rather than just having the 2,000 there.
Yeah, I agree with that. 6,000 is
Okay.
fine. I just wanted
Okay,
to.
great. Yeah. No, that was something. There's also let's see. We budgeted basically the same amount for mowing. I see that there's a mowing thing. We've budgeted about the same amount for mowing. It's not cleanly broken out in the budget. I'll probably change something after this year, so it's a more of a clean line item. At present, we hire Jeremy Cushing to do the mowing of the rec field and the town, and he also does the water sewer plant separately. But I thought that we had agreed to doing maybe an extended contract, like a 3-year contract. I'll have Kristen look up the notes, because I thought he was asking me about this, and I thought that we had approved a longer term contract. In any case, he came to me with a contract which I think is pretty much level from last year, which I'll present to the select board next meeting. But I don't see any increases on that. But
Can I step in there?
Go ahead, sure.
Can I step in? I just want to let you know that property landscaping is on page 3. It's $4,500. Not on page.
Oh,
2.
I thought it was maybe.
Page 2 is the rec committee.
Oh, I see.
Remember, it's the rec committee.
Oh, okay.
So,
sorry.
Okay, so you go park and rec, and then they've got rec all the way down to skateboard. Those are all the rec committees.
Okay.
And then
So right, and we need to. That's another area that needs to have discussion, because forget that rec mowing column, I think, is 0, and it's covered in something else. But there are questions regarding the whole water fountain and so forth. Essentially, right now, that 47 what is it, 4,500?
48, I think. Yeah,
48, yeah. It's hard for me to read in this light. Any case, that is basically level funding in terms of the lights and a lot of the porta potties and all that. But that's not including anything to do with the proposed water fountain, which I think is going to be, I think, in the area of 6 to 8, right, Linda? Is that what she was saying?
Yes, that was my understanding. Yes.
So that's not in this budget. So
Good.
okay, I don't know.
It's just too much.
Okay. But I just want to point out that that's not in, and if we could, sort of go forward with that. In other, I'm just looking on this page. I don't see anything. The ARPA money that is not allocated is about, it looks like it's about 85. I don't know that we need to obviously have that allocated. I think it's by the end of December. I don't know that it's the end of June. You know, Linda, offhand?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but I can look on that. Look it up.
Yeah, if you look up.
I don't have the
whether
file with me,
ARPA
so.
One of the things that I was on a phone call, Jim, you were on as well, with Alice discussing the whole Route 2 intersection. And she was suggesting that it would be prudent to apply a significant amount, if not the balance, toward that project.
Well,
And
I thought it was for, I thought it was not for, it was for the initial planning and development phase. She said we could, there was some money. I don't know if it'd be as much as 85,000.
right, I mean, that's something, yeah, and I don't know that that necessarily needs to be decided tonight or anything like that, but I'm just letting everyone know that there's 85 in, and we do have we've committed to the intersection project. I must say I was a little bit disappointed that we haven't heard back from V-Trans, because as it stood, the project is supposed to occur in 28, 29. And the town was gonna have to, cough up the money for the pipes that run underneath. They would actually do all the excavation, but we would have to place the new pipes, and that would be about $500,000. And so that's a significant amount of money, especially, when you look at our budget and so forth. I mean, that's a huge chunk of change. So it's good to think about that sooner rather than later. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
And just to mention that there's $292,000 left in there. The $292,760 in that ARPA fund.
Oh, it is, okay.
Wait, I
Yeah,
thought,
I just
but
want-
200 and Linda, are you sure it's not?
The 85,000 is what's been expended.
Oh, it's been expended. I didn't think it was that much left over, but maybe, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. So
thanks.
Linda, if you could tell the board when the due date, so to speak, of when that money has to be allocated.
I would if I'd had the file with me, but I don't have the file. I'm at
No,
home, of course.
I know everything.
Sorry.
I planned on being.
So I can send them an email. All of them,
Great.
about the amount that we have left in ARPA funds, if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Great. And,
Okay.
that can focus everybody's, attention on that. I'm glad it's that much. I didn't realize it was that much. I thought it was less, but we'll move on.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of if there's anything that's jumping out at me in the in this column. So I noticed that it looks like a pretty big increase. Well, property liability insurance. Actually, no, it didn't jump that much. No, there wasn't anything. Okay, I'm not seeing anything that's jumping out at me. I'm going to go to page 3 now. That's okay.
Sure.
So on page 3, I think one thing that jumps out at me right away is the Cutler Library going to 50,000. I totally salute the library. I'm not sort of picking on them. But one of the things that I think is important is to recognize that it's important to make sure that we do the basic functions of the town, make sure that's covered, before we, increase things that are not, sort of core missions in a sense. I mean, I'm totally, once again, I'm totally supportive of the library. I'm just saying they've gone from 40,000 to 50,000 in a pretty
So, well, 45 in between, right?
correct. It was 45. It went from 40 to 45 to 50.
Right. Well, 50 is what's being proposed, right?
Right.
Yeah, I
And
feel comfortable with 50.
Okay. Yeah.
If that means anything.
Just saying, okay. And that's not including the money that they got for the new roof. I think that they got 30 from ARPA for the new roof too. We'll get it. And I'm just looking for other actually, there was one item that I wanted to go back to, and I think it's actually, I'm sorry, I think it's on the first page. I just saw it, is the maintenance person. I don't think, since we hadn't gotten anybody as a maintenance person, I think there was $4,000 allocated. I didn't put anything in, but just FYI, since we've re-advertised the position in the last couple of days, we've gotten 5 inquiries about it. So that's
great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I think it might be worth, it might be worth, putting that back in. I'm trying to think of where the line item is.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
It's like the
building maintenance.
It's like the 7th place down the top first page.
On the first page?
Yeah. It's building maintenance, budgeted 2750 and 22-23, and nothing for right now, but 4500 and 23-24, but I guess we didn't use that, right? So
right. Well,
that's
maybe
the current year, so it's not
maybe put it in my new figures. I put 4500 from the last year back in. So
okay, I'm
whatever.
okay with that.
I took that. I mean, so sorry, back to the page 3. Let's see. Well, it's not on page 3, but one of the things that I'm looking at all the well, why don't we wait until we get to the trucks and stuff, and I'll bring that up. Does anybody see anything on page 3 that sort of jumps out? Or
not for me. It looks, things look pretty good.
Okay.
Yep, nothing on my end.
Yeah, okay, great. So let's go to page 4. So a lot of Linda did a fantastic job breaking out a lot of the loan interest and so forth. It wasn't accounted for very carefully under the old system. Just so the 2000, I think the 2007 Mac is retired, and what Michael wanted to have was, and I don't know what's on your sheet, but for the backhoe he wanted 1,000, which is level from last year.
Yeah,
and
that's what's on mine.
Right, and for the 2005 Mac, he wanted 2,500.
Yeah, I got 0 in right now.
Right. Okay, that's one of the ones that's added. The 2007 Mac is 0.
But you want to add in 2,500 for the 2005 Mac.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I'm fine with that.
Okay, 25. Okay, and then the 2007 Mac is no more. The 2024 Mac is the brand new one, which will be paying for our first payment, I think is in July. That's the one. It's in the numbers, but in terms of the maintenance, it wasn't broken out. And Michael would like 1,000 for that truck. This is not on your sheet. This is a Mac 2024.
Okay.
And he wanted 1,000 just because there are certain things that aren't covered in the warranty, and he just wanted to have a little buffer.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
What about the other? Yeah. What about Tim and
here-
Patty?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, so on the wood chipper 500, whatever. So on the 2015 Ford, that's the one that we've wanted to get rid of because it's had problems. He wanted to put another 5,000 on that just because he's not sure if we're gonna get the other truck. And just, you know, it's that truck is not in good shape.
Okay.
So
So he's looking to replace it, but he's not sure he's gonna be able to, so he wants to have 5,000 in the
right,
budget.
something to cover it just in
Yeah.
case. So the
Alright.
2019 Mac, he wanted 3,500 on that one.
All right, so so that's 8,500 total for those two trucks.
Right. And
Whereas
then I guess there's the GMC, which is 1,000, and the rest aren't trucks. So, you know, that's just,
so right now, the right-hand column, the 24-25 has zeros for the 2015 and the 2019. So the Ford and the Mac,
right. So that'll be
8,500 total extra.
correct. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I'm okay with that. And
I don't really see what choice we have
yeah,
until we can get
we
a
need to be able,
replacement truck.
right. We need
Yeah.
to be able to do these are the most important things we do, is keeping the roads open. So I
Right,
think we need to
right.
do it.
That's
So can I ask a question?
sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so this money putting into the truck is not going to be just is gonna make it work for another season. Is that what we're trying to do?
Well, he really does not want it to work for another season. He really he thinks it's not going to make it. You know, and the cost for a new truck is pretty expensive, and I think you guys have been through a discussion on that. It's basically about 70,000 for the truck, and then another 70,000 for all the equipment and snow, you know, all that.
Right.
The good news is I think there is a fund that will pay for 30% of the cost of the pickup. But that round of funding starts in June, and I don't know if we'll get it. You know, we have, you know, it's basically, you know, I think we have to, you know, figure out, I don't know in terms of what our best next steps are, you know, in terms of that.
Well, that's buying that truck in June isn't in the budget, is it?
No, we have not. I mean, we can talk about, we can
Yeah,
talk
last
the
I
equipment.
recall, someone was gonna come, I think Michael was gonna come to us with a proposal to buy a truck outright when he was gonna get an estimate, and concurrently pursue that diesel fuel efficient 30% thing, and see what the time frame was gonna be, and then we would decide when we had the information. It's last I remember we talked about it.
Right.
Well,
But in order for us to do that, we have to have an item in here in the budget for that, I think.
right. So just let me just sort of hop down a little bit. We have the equipment fund expenses 80,000. You know, you could, if that's actually a jump from 50,000. There are towns
Oh, okay.
that have this number is closer to over 100 in other towns, just
Okay.
because the equipment gets eaten up. So I don't know, I think Michael can speak to the prospects of an alternative vehicle, and we can wait to hear from him in terms of you know, the task at hand. If you wanted to be doubly sure, we could increase the equipment fund more, because that equipment fund is for not just that one truck, it's for all the new equipment coming on. And the other thing that I want to point out is he wanted, and I think this is a very good idea, to have an increase in the gravel budget. We're
Okay.
facing with the changing climate. We have 100 in there now, and I thought I'd change this, but I see I didn't. I wanted to up that to about 110, 120 for gravel.
We spent 97 actual in 22, 23, it says.
Right, he's
And it's gonna go
over,
up, okay.
he's over, I think he's significantly over, I think he's over now. He's under on sand, and he's over now on gravel.
Hmm.
Is what he told me. So
Okay.
before we get to the thing, I think we should just sort of figure.
How did he tell you how much more expensive the washed stone is compared to the standard?
Well, the thing is that the irony is that the wash stone is actually, my understanding is it's actually cheaper, but you have to drive further to get it. So that's where the expense is. It's not in the material, it's in driving. And I think that by all accounts, it seems to be better material from a lot of different perspectives. So you know, that's something to consider. I think, I mean, I would say going to 110 might be prudent, and if you want to, you know, I don't know, maybe knock sand down a little bit to maybe 50 or something.
Okay, why don't we do that? I'm okay with that. What about,
Sounds good to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
Patty?
I mean, it's a compromise. Obviously, it's not exactly what he wants, but I think 110.
And then,
Okay, I'll change
yeah, why
that.
don't we do that? And then
So-
back to the truck. So the 250, the Ford 2015 Ford, you wanted to put some money in there for maintenance or repairs for that to keep it going? Was that what you were talking about?
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. So he would want to put just to be safe, have $5,000 there.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Remember that you know, if you know, if he decides to move on the other truck, we'll probably get rid of that one, and that money will not be spent. You know?
Right. And then we'll use the 80,000 out of the equipment expense fund to start paying on the new truck.
Right. Partly, yeah, it would be part of that expense.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, if you want to you know, increase that one also, whatever you guys want. I mean, I don't know if you
No, I don't know. I think 80s. I mean, we don't have to pay for the whole truck right up front, right? Can we finance it if we buy a new
Right.
truck?
Well, yeah, we can. We have, you know, we have a lot of loans
Yeah,
and
we have a lot of
So-
debt right now.
we have a lot of debt.
Okay.
So
So they may
kind
not
of-
want to do
Yeah.
that. All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Linda, do you have any recommendations about what we should do with these items?
Well, I'm concerned with trying to get a really heavy loan again.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few loans actually now, and so I think we should try to, like you were talking, is try to work the 2015 and see if they can get it to last a little bit longer, and maybe you can set aside more funds so you can buy a new truck maybe next year. Or
Okay.
if he receives this grant, maybe it could come forward at that point. I just think we get a lot of loans in right now, and
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it's a kind of a stress on the budget, and so I think we should kind of stay where we are, in my opinion, and see how it goes.
I'm fine with that. So then what we need to do is add in 5,000 for the 2015 Mac so that he has the ability to fix it if he needs to. I mean, the Ford 2015.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The 2015. Right.
So we'll add
What are the numbers
5,000
for
in
the
there.
gravel too? Yeah. Sorry, Jim.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Linda?
I was asking, what were the numbers for the gravel and the sand again? I missed those.
Well, okay, so the gravel was, the way I have it on my sheet right now is 100 for gravel and 55 for sand. And the proposal was to go to 110 on gravel and 50 on sand.
Yeah, that's okay too. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And Tim and Patty, are you guys okay with that?
Okay with that.
Okay, 110, and then what's the sand total?
Well, it was 55, change it to 50.
50, okay,
And
thank you.
let's see, trying to think in terms of, I'm just looking if there are any, we also have the, we've also upped the equipment expense, I see, is upped, and that was also on a recommendation from Michael.
Yeah, from 50 to 80.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah, we covered that. I'm sorry.
That's
Just
all right.
looking through,
Okay.
No problem.
and there are other,
Okay.
great. I'm
What
not,
about the line painting? Is there some way to add that in here somewhere, or is it covered somewhere?
sorry, Ed, which?
The line painting that,
Oh,
Alice
yeah,
Merrill
that
was-
actually, that we can, I think that would go.
Right on the last page. Yeah, it's on the last page, Bram.
oh yeah, line
Yeah.
painting. There's an item there right now, it's 0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was 0. I did add to the,
And what did she recommend we put in
well,
there?
I think, she was saying that the previous select board in 2021, I think it was 4,100, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I would check my email, but I'm so terrified of touching
I'm
this.
gonna check it. I have it right here.
Okay. Whatever that was, it was 40.
She said, 4,560
Okay,
was the amount for 2020 and 2021.
right. And
then it got
I
dropped
think
down.
I think that that's fine. I think that I don't know if we'll be able to cover everything that she wants with just not to bore everybody with this, but so with the line painting, if you get the really kind of nice glow paint that's applied, very well, it costs almost 3 times as much as the other stuff, but it lasts literally 5 times as long. In fact,
What chemical makes it glow, though, is my concern.
what is it?
What makes it glow? Is this like
Well,
some
it's
kind of nasty
it's
chemical?
reflective. It's not
It
not
doesn't
like
glow.
it's
It
not it's sort of
Just a little worried. Sorry.
no.
No, it doesn't-
It's not,
it
it's not
doesn't-
like a radioactive thing. It's like when light hits it, it shines.
It's
It's got
reflective. It doesn't
crushed
glow.
up
It's
stuff
reflective.
in it. So
All right. Sorry.
so what I'm saying is that we might not get all the lines painted for 45. That might have been true in 2020. It's not going to be true now. And I would really not recommend going with the cheap line stuff because it just after a season it's gone. So
Yeah, I know. You have to redo it. You have to redo it every year. So
yeah,
doing-
we spent money, doing line stuff, and it really didn't work out.
So anyway, what about adding in 4,500 for line painting, and when we decide how to actually spend that amount, we can decide then to.
Yes,
lines we
right,
wanna
exactly.
paint
Then they come and they'll make a proposal or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So
So
great.
I'm okay with putting in 4,500 for a line painting.
Okay, great.
And Tim and
Sounds
Patty,
good
you
to me.
okay with that?
Okay.
Sounds good.
And now I have my sheets all jumbled up.
Well, that was the next to last page
Okay,
at the
so-
bottom of that.
And are we on, do we need to go to, are we ready for the last page, or is there anything else?
There's not much on the last page, but sure.
Okay. There was some, oh yeah, there's something that I want to talk about, and I can't remember which page I put it on. I just wanted to talk, Linda, the revolving loan, the Laura Beach.
Oh,
Okay,
right,
so-
yeah.
So the select board supported, which I think was great, the helping Ms. Veach with her house on Gore Road. And the question is that it was for 16,000, and I budgeted, I think, I budgeted 17.5 just to cover. So what would happen is that since she's going to pay it back in a balloon payment, I think when the house is sold, the town would be covering the interim interest cost. Is that correct, Linda?
Yes, and so you're planning to put the full amount in that loan, and then are we gonna have to make payments on those a month, or are they gonna hold that for the town? I mean, I don't know how that works.
I haven't had the discussion with that's what signing those signature cards was.
Right.
Everybody. That's why I haven't been authorized to have any kind of discussion about any of this because I'm not a representative. But that's an example of it says 17,500, but I don't think it's going to end up costing the town that at all, because I think it's like just a contingency to cover. In other words, if the town ends up having to borrow $16,000, we would be paying interest payments on that $16,000 loan. But I anticipate the house would be sold relatively soon, was my understanding. So
it's on the middle of the third page, by the way, the item.
Okay.
And it's the SB revolving loan Beach.
Right. Okay.
And it has only one number in the last column, 17.5.
17.5. It's not, the interest isn't broken out. So the loan is for 16, and I was just off the top of my head thinking.
So what is this item? It's we're making the loan, or somebody else is making, or we're covering a loan for somebody else?
Well, I thought the way I am not experienced in this, and probably Linda is more. I was under the impression that we would actually guarantee the loan, or we would make the loan from the bank. Linda, is that the way it works, or is this a reserve fund we take the money out of, or how does it work?
Well, the revolving loan fund, there's funds in that account for these types of things, and it's a little bit different to balloon setting up that way. I'm not really sure if we're supposed to pay by lump sum, or if we're going to be paying monthly. I mean, I don't know, and we haven't talked about it. We just got this a week ago.
I
we
maybe
just got
misunderstood
this
when this
Carl.
was brought up at the select board meeting, but I thought that from my understanding was that there was a committee that had these funds and they were loaning them to this resident. And then when they sell the house, this fund would be paid back. I don't see, I thought there was pre-existing money, so I'm not seeing where the interest that we're paying is coming from.
We have the revolving fund. We have the revolving fund, right?
So yeah, in other words, is there money in the revolving loan account to cover the okay, let's assume that the revolving loan fund gives her $16,000, expecting with interest her to pay it back in a big lump sum. Is that something that the town has to guarantee in any way, or?
Well, we'd have to draw the money. If you're going to give her a lump sum, that's my question. Are you going to be giving her a lump sum of money for this?
Yes,
or are we going to be making payments on this? Or how is that going to work?
My impression was that we would give her $16,000, and it would be at whatever a commercial rate would be. I didn't realize, I thought that the loan had depleted down. I thought we were borrowing the money. That's why I put it in there.
No, my understanding from was that we had that money.
You do have the money.
Yeah, okay.
But we make payments. You know what I mean? We make payments for all these other funds that we have through the bank. We make monthly payments on those. Each committee that has funds from that account and the money is paid back monthly. So that's my question, is that if we are going to do this, does she get a lump sum and the town's going to have to pay money back to the bank until she sells her home? I mean, these are the questions I have, because normally, you know, we don't just give the full amount. You know, if you give the full amount, you got to pay pieces on it. You got to pay back to the fund, pay it off.
Well, the question
It's a loan,
let's-
basically. It's a loan.
Right. No, I understand that, but is it possible? I think what Tim is asking is that essentially, since the town the town owns the fund, are we essentially, if we decide to do this deal, can we just give her the money and then have something in writing that we would get the interest back when the principal is paid back? But would that cost the town anything?
Just the interest. We'd have to talk to the bank and see if they'd set it up so that would clearly just be making interest payments, if that's what you're thinking. And then at the end, she'd have to, you know, pay the town back.
Well, do we have this? Do we already have the money in an account somewhere?
Yes, it's in the revolving
Okay,
loan
so-
fund. It's in the
Right,
bank.
it's in
Yes.
it's in a fund. It's in a bank, in a fund now, and it's earning interest presumably. So if we take out 16,000 and give it to her, we're losing the interest on that while she has the money. So the idea is when she sells her house or whatever, the property, she has to pay us back the 16,000 plus the interest that we would otherwise have gotten on that money. And then we put it back in the revolving loan fund.
Hmm.
Isn't that how it works? I thought.
Yeah,
And
that
we
was what
put a
I
lien-
thought.
And we put a lien on her property so that when it gets sold, we get that money for sure.
So just Linda, from a budget point of view, and I'm new to this, so I don't know. Do we have to just for the sake of full disclosure, put in that we've guaranteed this money in the revolving loan fund, you know, or do we not put anything in? Do you see what I mean?
Well, I think that you're going to have to show that you're providing 16,000 or what the figure is,
Yeah, it's
a lump sum
basically
to that
16
person.
loan and the rest is interest. So I didn't know what the
I think-
terms were, so I just put in an extra $1,500. That's what 17.5 is.
Right.
So it's
So
an estimate.
I think you're going to
It's
have to
estimate.
put the whole thing in the budget, because you got, you know, so that you have got to show it somehow. You
Well,
know,
he's got
where
it here.
yeah,
He's got it
Go
here
ahead,
at
Jim.
17.5.
right.
But if it's coming out of the loan fund, then that we already have the money, then why should we be charging taxes? Why should we be putting this in here and collecting taxes to pay for this when we have the money already?
Well, we'd have to talk to the bank and see if we
Yeah.
can do it that way. I think that's the first thing we need to do, is check with them, because it's a little bit different situation than the other revolving loan funds that we have, because
Yeah,
the
Well-
committees, you know how the committees do it.
what I'll do, look, what I'll do is I'll once I get this authorization thing, I'll have a discussion with the bank and I can report back. In terms of just the here and now, I mean, if you wanted me to take that completely out, that's fine.
no, I
Uh,
think, but Graham, I think the way we should handle it now is if we're all okay with having the revolving loan fund make this loan and with the understanding that we're going to get it back, we're all okay with that, then you can figure out, that's all that you need to know now. You can figure
Right.
out later how it should to best reflect that in the budget.
Okay.
I don't think we should put it in the budget.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
okay,
you're right. I
fine.
don't
That's
think we
fine.
should either.
I just was trying to, I didn't understand the mechanism, my fault.
Right.
I would have, you know,
So-
okay, got it. Okay, I
So
understand.
I have a question. Patty, is your power back on?
No,
Okay, is your battery
Mine
on your
isn't either.
phone? How's your
No.
battery on your phone doing?
not good.
Okay,
Yeah, getting
yeah,
bad.
so I
Yeah.
just saw your email about that, so I just wanted to check.
Thank you. Yeah, I have no power all day. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so getting back to let's see. I'm just trying to think if there are any other things that are jumping out at me.
Does anybody, do Patty and Tim have questions about this? About anywhere else in the budget?
No,
Okay,
No,
so I
No.
think one way we could do this, Bram,
Mhm.
is to avoid having to have another meeting, is that we've gone over this. What we could do is approve the budget, subject to the adjustments that we all discussed today, and that
Right.
you will circulate the revised version that reflects today's discussions.
Right.
And then if anybody sees it and has a concern that it wasn't the way they thought it was going to be, they could ask for us to have another meeting to look at it again. But assuming everybody's fine, then we're done.
Okay, yeah, no, I think that's a great way of going, and I think that if everybody can just think a little bit about the date, that would be great as well.
Okay, so
So, I think we could shoot for, if everybody can come together. I think the next meeting is Thursday, or
our next meeting,
yeah,
next Thursday.
it's Thursday.
we moved it. Yeah, so it's next Thursday.
Thursday.
So
So
maybe if we could circulate this, maybe we could decide on the date on that Thursday, once we
yeah,
see.
yeah, I think that would be great. So just so you know, and I'll tell you it's 40 days out from that. So we'll try to have all the materials together so we can, have it posted soon, because we're getting late into May. So I don't think there's anything we can do. I mean, it's just
No, it'll be mid-May, probably later than the 14th, probably more like. And did we want to have it on a Saturday or a Sunday or in the evening? Or do we want to have it?
Well, I can post something, or if you guys want to post something, whatever, and just sort of get a temperature in terms of last year when it was delayed. When did we have the meet? Did we have it on a weekend, or?
I don't remember now.
Okay, I mean,
I can't remember either, but I remember that like an
I think it
equal
was-
amount of people were upset about having it during the week or the weekend. So I think it's kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't.
It was a Tuesday, wasn't it? I thought it was a Tuesday, but maybe not.
well,
thought it was a normal day.
we can, if if anybody feels strongly either way, I whatever works for everybody is fine.
So I think the way to do this then is, we've gone over the budget together now. You put together the final version and then circulate it. And then if we approve it at that Thursday meeting, and if you put together the notice, the articles,
Okay,
so
Got it,
that we
okay.
can see that. And if we approve that and you send that out, we'll pick the date next Thursday, because we'll have everything ready. We'll know when it can
great.
go
Yeah,
out.
okay, that sounds good.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Are we ready for a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Well, actually,
You sound like-
do you want to make a vote on the motion that you just discussed, Jim?
Well, I think we just discussed how we want to proceed. I don't know that we have.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a motion.
So-
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
let's
know if we
do
need a
that.
motion unless somebody's objecting to proceeding that way.
No.
Sounds good to
That's
me.
fine.
It sounds good. All right. So, I mean, I move we approve, we proceed that way, and the other two just said they were fine. So I think we're good.
Great. Okay. Super.
All right, I
So
move we
I-
adjourn.
Go ahead. I move that we adjourn this meeting
Okay.
for my phone died.
Okay.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that okay? Graham, are we good now? Or
I
do
think
you
we're
need
fine.
anything
I
else?
think we're good. I'll get this stuff together. Any more questions, I'll email you. Thanks so
That's
much.
All
great.
right, thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks,
Great.
everybody.
Okay,
Take care.
take care.
Bye.
Bye.